I sat at the long mahogany boardroom table at Aldridge Dynamics, trying not to leave sweaty handprints on the polish. My laptop was open with months of work that nobody in the room seemed to care about. Henry Aldridge, my father-in-law and the CEO, pushed a stack of transfer papers toward me and said my experiment was worthless. He said a buyer would give $2 million and I should be grateful. My phone kept buzzing. I finally looked. A message from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Patent approved, breakthrough status, initial bidding at $3. $7 billion. I slid the phone across to Henry. The room went silent. I told them the patent for my quantum stability algorithm was in my name, funded by my grandmother's trust, not the company. I had every receipt. The company had no claim. More messages came. Bigger bids. Faces around the table changed fast. The board called an emergency meeting the next morning. I brought my attorney Marcus and binders for everyone. Inside were my patent documents, proof of independent funding, and a copy of Aldridge's own charter. Years ago, Henry had added a clause meant to protect the company's intellectual property. It said if anyone at the company tried to misappropriate a creator's IP, majority voting shares would transfer to the creator. By signing papers to transfer something the company didn't own, Henry had triggered that clause. Marcus said it clearly. I now controlled Aldridge Dynamics. The room went quiet again. I then showed them what I'd been documenting. Late-night access logs, emails, and meetings showing my wife, Claire, had been taking research out of R&D, sharing it with competitors, and trying to move patent filings to shell companies. For a year, I'd collected legal, admissible records from company property and public spaces. Names of fired researchers appeared, and the pattern connected their exits to Claire's actions. My phone buzzed. Bids now at $6 billion. I told the room Henry would retire, Claire would step away, and the board could either work under a new culture focused on real innovation or leave. They chose to stay. Then I revealed Project Genesis. Under my small lab across town was a finished underground quantum facility, 3 football fields of equipment. It was funded by my trust and private investors. The staff included scientists who had been pushed out by corporate politics. Dr. Sofia Ramirez, once fired from Aldridge, walked in and presented results. With the quantum stability algorithm, we had a stable room-temperature quantum computer. Not a lab trick, a working unit. More messages arrived. Governments and companies wanted in. I told the board we weren't selling the core technology outright. We would license carefully and lead the work. I rehired the people the old regime had discarded. Dr. James Park led sustainable tech. Dr. Lisa Washington led financial modeling and strategy. Dr. Robert Kim led biomedical research. We turned Henry's corner office into an open workspace. Glass-walled labs replaced closed-door politics. Funding followed ideas, not favorites. Results came quickly. Climate models stretched from days to 6 months of accurate forecasts. Drug discovery accelerated as quantum systems solved protein folding. Our quantum encryption drew serious attention from governments. The stock climbed fast. Offers poured in. We kept our focus and said no to selling out. Law enforcement took interest in Claire's actions. Henry signed retirement papers and stepped back. One day, Margaret, my mother-in-law, visited. She used to treat me like I didn't belong. Now she brought a folder from Henry's files, my old notes, napkin equations, and early sketches I'd once tried to show him. She apologized. She said they had dismissed me from the start and asked to make amends by redirecting the family foundation to support overlooked innovators. We agreed. It felt like the first honest step from that side of the family. Within 3 months, the boardroom felt like mission control. Sophia's team reported a cancer therapy that could target malignant cells with precision. Fast-tracked approval arrived and patients would begin treatment within days. James presented a carbon capture system that could remove greenhouse gases and convert them into useful materials at a scale that could reverse warming within 15 years. NASA called to explore quantum propulsion concepts that might cut Mars travel to weeks. Tech companies offered huge sums for exclusivity. We declined. If one player owned everything, progress would slow. We built a partnership model instead. License carefully, keep the core safe, and move the world forward. The market reacted. Our stock broke records. Reporters and officials wanted to understand what happened. Most important, the scientists who had been ignored were now thriving. Their names returned to journals, their work to headlines, their teams to labs with real support. Cases against Claire moved ahead. Henry faded from the scene. Inside the company, the mood changed from fear to focus. People spoke freely. Good ideas rose quickly. Bad ones were tested and either fixed or dropped. Results mattered more than politics. I kept 2 frames on the wall, my patent and the clause from the old charter. One was the work. The other was the protection that forced a reckoning. From my window, I could see new facilities rising. I thought of every dinner where I was brushed off, every meeting where eyes glazed over at the word quantum, and how little moments of doubt had added up to a plan. The plan became a lab. The lab became a company worth following. The company became a path to work that could actually matter. Health, climate, security, exploration. That was the real win. Not the bids or the headlines, but watching a place built on intimidation turn into a place built on discovery. The people who once felt invisible now led the breakthroughs. The ideas that were called unrealistic became prototypes, then products, then everyday tools. When new offers came in, I gave the same answer. We're not selling the revolution. We're here to lead it.